Hello everybody. If you're suffering with hitting cuts, fades, and slices more so than you want to, one of the reasons that that's happening could be your lead wrist versus your trail wrist, and one extending and or flexing too much and or the opposite way that it should be. In today's video, I'm going to explain that and I'm going to show you how to fix it. Okay, so before I really get into this video, I just want to give everybody a real quick crash course in how the wrists and the forearms work in a golf swing. And in particular, we're going to go over extension and flexion in this one. So if your wrists move out to where there's an angle between the top side of your forearm and the back of your hand, that is going to be extension. If your wrists come in to where your palms are closer to the underside of your arm, that's going to be flexion. Okay, there's also pronation where the forearms roll in towards center, and there's supination where they roll out away from center. Then you have ulnar deviation and radial deviation where the wrists move up and down. But in today's video, I want to focus on flexion and extension. In particular, are they doing it, each wrist doing what they're supposed to in your backswing so that you can eliminate hitting those big pull slices, those push block cuts, and so on. So what most people who hit fades and or slices have a problem with as far as their wrist angles are concerned, there's a lot of different reasons people hit fades and cuts, but for those of you who want to get rid of those and you want to start hitting a straighter ball, you want to start hitting potentially a draw, then you're going to want to make sure that you have more extension in your trail wrist. For me, it's my right hand, I'm a right-handed golfer, and more flexion in your lead wrist. Okay, so you want to be more like that. Too many of you, especially you higher handicappers, as you take the club back, you have extension in your lead wrist. You can see that it's the back of my hand is bending towards the top of my arm, and my trail wrist is going into flexion, where I'm having the palm come closer to the underside of my forearm. Okay, and what you'll notice is that that points the club, the toe of the club, closer to the ground. And for some of you who don't understand the swing as much, that's an open club face. As the club face points more towards the sky, you'll notice that my wrist angles change and that my lead wrist, my left wrist, is now getting more flexed. My trail wrist now has more of a bend to it. It's getting more extended, and the face points more towards the sky, i.e. square and or moving towards closing, and that makes it much easier to square the club face as you come in impact. Now, you can get away with having a cupped lead wrist and an extended trail wrist at different degrees at the top of your backswing, but you damn sure better make sure that as soon as possible you get them to work in the opposite fashion. I had John Sinclair on the Golf 360 podcast. John does probably as much research in 3 and 4D as everybody. He's got a great hour-long explanation of all the wrist angles in the swing, and I highly recommend checking that out. I'll put that down in a link below for quick reference. But so how do you fix this? Okay, you can fix it in your living room. For some of you up north, it's getting to be that time of year where you really can't get out to the golf course. All you're going to need is something that all of you have in your house already. You don't even have to go out and buy a training aid, and that's a hanger. All right, so what you want to do, you want to take on the, if you're right-handed, you want to put the hanger on the left side of your grip closer to the target, about half the hanger hanging off the grip and half the hanger going down the shaft. Okay, you're going to take your left hand grip that way, and you're going to want the part of the hanger that's off the butt end of the shaft to be touching your lead forearm. And then all you'll do is you go ahead and you take your trail hand, or for me, my right hand grip, and then when I set up, I want to make sure that that hanger stays touching and in contact with my lead forearm for the entire swing. Okay, so as I make my motion to the backswing, you can see that that hanger is still on the forearm, and you can see that the trail wrist is starting to have some extension. As I go to the top, you can see that that hanger again is still on my forearm. There's extension in the trail wrist, and there's some flexing in the lead wrist. And then you do the same as you make your transition and your forward swing. And the entire swing, you want to feel the pressure of that hanger pushing up against your forearm all the way through into your finish. Okay, so it should look something like this. Okay, so that's the hanger exercise. It will help your wrist conditions going from too much of a lead wrist extension and too much of a trail wrist flexion into getting the lead wrist extended, the trail wrist flex, will allow you to start to eliminate that slice, start to hit straighter balls and closer to the hole. If you like this video, please click like. We'd love to have you subscribe to our channel. And as always, post your comments below. We'd love to hear what you have to say.